What's up, guys? Dustin Yewy here, and I'm bringing you some more NHL 13 news. I'm sorry I'm still sick. But anyways, this is another blog from the EA Sports website, and basically, it's news about Be a Pro and EASHL. So I'm just gonna try and make it really short and jump into it really fast. It's just a couple points, and that'll be it. So here we go. Alright, so for Be a Pro, they've added two new things. The first one is trading. Users can now request trades from their NHL teams. If a user requests a trade, they will be placed on the trade block if they are of high enough trade value. If the user does not meet the trade value requirement, the user will be warned for requesting a trade and not being good enough. If the user continues to ask for a trade, they will get demoted from the line they are currently on and can even end up being sent down to the minors if they continue to ask for a trade. And the next thing is retiring in Be a Pro now. Once a user feels they want to end their career, they can simply retire. The user can view their career stats once they have retired. Alright, now on to the new EASHL or EA Sports Hockey League improvements. And there's quite a few, well, not quite a few, but a couple to mention. Alright, so the first one is regional matchmaking. So basically now the GM of the EASHL club can kind of select the region for where you guys kind of play out of, and basically it matches within your region, and it gives you a search timer to a maximum of 4 minutes to help find a closer skilled team with a similar number of players within the region. And obviously they have the ability to adjust some of them depending on community responses and such. The next thing, they've added in new 6-player leaderboards. So apparently it's one of the most requested EASHL features. I mean, I've never really played on a true 6v6 club. Hopefully we can get that going in NHL 13. But basically now if you have a 6-player club, it tracks your 6-player club in its own leaderboard. And basically clubs that finish within the top 10 and 100 respectively will get in-game rewards. I don't know, that's about it really for 6-player leaderboards. The next one, they've changed how the performance points work at the end of the game. Basically at the end of your game, it would give you points depending on, you know, the type of club you played or whatever. And I always kind of wondered how it worked because it wasn't always consistent. I mean, you'd beat a really good, say, like, we were amateurs and we play elite champions and we would beat them, but at the end of the game we would barely move up a smidge, even though we just, you know, beat elite champions and we're in the amateur league. So anyways, apparently to encourage teams to play with more human players, they adjusted the performance points multiplier, and it's basically based on how many players you are playing with a team. So a 2-player team will always receive a multiplier of 1, and it goes up to a 6-player team, which you get 1.6. So the example they give, if a team had 25 performance points and was playing with 6 players, their total would be 40. So basically just 25 times 1.6 would give you 40. I guess they're just going to tune it depending on how it goes. But that sounds a little better for, you know, kind of promoting to have more players on your team if you want to make your club a little higher in the, like, leaderboards or whatever. And another new thing that they're adding into the EASHL, which I'm kind of excited about. I mean, it's not a huge thing, but I don't know why they didn't have it. Club captains. So you can assign 1 captain and 2 alternate captains, or you can assign 3 alternate captains and no main captain. If you give it to a goalie, however, they won't have a C or an A on their jersey. But it's kind of cool that you don't need to actually make a captain. You can give out three assistant captains instead. Although I still think you should have the option to have 3 assistant captains and 1 captain. But because I mean, some teams do. I don't know if there's a rule about or whatever. I don't think there is in the NHL, but whatever. Just my input. But I mean, NHL club or EASHL club captains is going to be pretty cool to have. All right, next thing. Club matchmaking settings saved to server. So regular season and playoff captain options. Regular season and playoff captain's option settings can now be saved in the GM settings screen and will be automatically loaded when you enter the club dressing room. So basically now, instead of every time you join a game, you have to, you could match club size or whatever, or match goalie or whatever, but you had to redo it every time you went to play a game. Now apparently you can just save them in the settings as the GM or whatever. So I mean, not a huge thing, but it's, a little nice feature they've added to kind of reduce the pain of having to do it every time. Another new option they've added in is to the club join requests. Basically now they've added in a thing, so depending on public or private clubs, you can basically now, you have a GM friends option. So if you have friends who want to join your club, and obviously you're the GM, you can have the option to turn on auto join club. So pretty much when your friends want to join the club, they can just join the club. You don't have to go into the join requests, like the pending option or whatever, where you have to like send in your request to actually join the team. So if you're actually a friend of the GM's, and he has it set to auto join as yes, you can just kind of join your friend's club whenever you want, say if you have 2 clubs or whatever you play on. So that's going to be a new helpful little thing they've added as well. And the last thing that they've added changes to in EASHL is a backout penalty. So basically they talk about teams cherry picking opponents' quotes and basically ducking teams when they are not the home team. And then it kind of talks about like how frustrating it is when you win an elite championship, but then people just kind of, when they see your banner being raised, they're just like, oh, screw that, and they just leave. So basically they've changed that. So now the backout penalty is intended to punish the quitting team, whether they quit from the side select or prior to the 1-minute mark in the game. Anything after the 1-minute mark is tracked as a did not finish or DNF loss. And they say there's no real need for additional punishment. Consecutive backouts are able to stack, and the punishment results in a deduction of rank points upon the next completed regular season game if it results in a win. DNF losses post 1-minute mark in playoff games will carry any backup penalties to the next game. Side select and pre-game backouts can be weighted differently, and they said they can choose to implement a grace number of backouts before the penalty would apply. And then penalty amounts per backout, max penalty amount, and free backout amounts can all be adjusted server side per backout type. So that's kind of a cool thing, because I hate when people kind of scout you out when you're in the position select or whatever, or I guess not position select, but like when you get into the screen after you've selected your positions and you like get a team that you're matched up against, and then everyone kind of has to hit X to start the game or whatever. So when people don't do that, they kind of like scout out your team to see how good you are or whatever. So now if they have it so you actually get some kind of penalty against backing out, because with the new matchmaking system, they're trying to make it more regionally and like trying to match up teams a little bit better. So I think that's a good new thing to try out, basically. The only thing I kind of wondered about is whether or not they're going to do something about AFK players. Like you go into a drop-in game or whatever, and people just kind of sit AFK for the entire game pretty much, and nothing happens. I really hope they do change that. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. That's pretty much the entire article. I want to try and keep it as short as possible. Leave comments below. The article link will be in the description as normal. And yeah, if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. I'll try and keep up to date with NHL 13 news. I don't know how much more there's going to be. But yeah, that's basically it. So there's some new Be a Pro and EASHL stuff. And I hope you guys found this informative. And yeah, that's about it. All right, thanks for watching, guys.